Welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 413, recording live on Thursday, July 15th. I'm one of your hosts, Mo.
And I'm Hef.
And I'm Adriel.
And we did this totally out of order, and I'm Kelly. Hi there.
You left me too much space.
No, I did not.
Leave space? I get in there.
No space.
If you hadn't said that, nobody would have known.
I was waiting
for space. I'm going in.
I was waiting for Mo to say recorded live in front of an audience.
Oh, am I supposed to do that every time? Is that my signature now?
Yeah.
Well, I said it the first time, but nobody laughed or even reacted to it. So I'm like, I guess it was lame, so I'm not going to bother anymore.
Yeah, but you turned lame into cool as your signature.
No, I'm aware of what's funny and what's not funny. So it wasn't funny, so I didn't go with it anymore.
Well, yeah, okay. I was just waiting. No? All right.
So let's get into what we did with guns.
Right.
What we did with guns is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearm retailer, featuring the limited edition Benchmade Tengu Flipper. Did I say that right? Tengu?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fancy looking knife.
Yeah. And it's a flipper.
And it's
this is like if you're playing Call of Duty and you get a loot box and you open it up and it's like super ultra rare
Gucci
knife.
Mm-hmm.
Not Gucci. It kind of looks like they dropped it in mud and then like took it out and they're like, yeah, that's the pattern. That's how you know it's expensive. The pattern's very complex. It's a very complex pattern. The more complex, the more expensive.
It's
not, shirts too.
It's nice.
Very cheap shirt.
I would. I would.
This week, let's get started with Kelly. What did you do with guns this week?
So what I did with, I wasn't on last week. No, I
2
wasn't.
weeks.
It's been 2 weeks. So I've done some things. I went to SFRC. Yes, that's the place I went. I had to go and get some 9mm ammo because, I was doing something on the weekend that I'm going to talk about. So, and I wanted to make sure I had enough ammo because when I got my email, it was saying you need 700 rounds. And I went, I got 1,000. And
they said you need 700 rounds for your black batch.
Yeah.
I think that was one of those like, you need a third of this, but just in case.
Just in case. So I went.
How many rounds did you use? 300?
Yeah, it was less than 300, 250, 300. Yeah, about 300. Anyways, but I just wanted to make sure I had enough ammo. So I went and bought some. I was going to buy 1,000 and then I ended up buying 500 because the other thing that I bought was a smoker. Because you know what? Priorities, smoked meat. Right, Kyle?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought a smoker instead. So I did get 500 rounds of Wolf. It was the reload ammo and it was on for a pretty good price. So if anybody's checking out or wanting ammo, go to SFRC. They have some Wolf ammo in stock and it's pretty good prices. And if you wait until Thursday, generally they'll send out, if you're on the email list, they'll send out a sale thingy that you can actually go and log on and purchase it at a gooder is gooder a word? Better, Mobetta price. So I got it at a really good deal. And I also got the smoker at a really good deal. So that's why I bought it. What else did I do? Last weekend, I participated in my black badge. It finally happened. And it was so much fun. And it was also 35 degrees and stinking hot. But we had... So Friday night, the way that it works is in Ontario. I know, Trevor, you're listening and you hate this, but in Ontario on Friday night, we do the review of the test and we talk about some of the rules and et cetera, et cetera. By the way, I should really read all of the questions on the test and instead of skimming, because I got one wrong. It said, how much should your...
You got one. Who cares? Close enough.
No. But the one was, how much should your pistol be away from your torso during, anyways, it's, what is it, 50 millimeters? And I said 1 meter. I thought it was actually your bit.
Could you imagine that holster?
I know. But when I was thinking about it, I was thinking it from the perspective of abandoning, when you abandon your quote unquote your firearm, it was 1 meter. I'm going, yeah, that's right, 1 meter. I wrote down 1 meter. I went, oh, that when we reviewed it, I went, yeah, no, that's not right. Damn it. But I thought it was hilarious. So we were there at our club. So I did take it at FRPC, and I wanted to mention that Kyle Voigt, he's been doing a lot of organization for our club with respect to matches, as well as getting the black badge course up and running and doing all the legwork for that. And he did a really good job of getting us into this black badge. We haven't had one, and this black badge has been delayed, I think 5 times or 4 or 5 times. Anyways,
when did you originally sign up for it?
Last year, for May of last year.
Those damn waiting lines.
So what actually happened was we had a bunch of people. We walk into the room and everybody knew each other. So we knew it was going to be a great weekend. Nice. And we had, as I said, so much fun. And we were there at FRPC on the Friday night until it was pretty close to almost 11 o'clock at night. Got up early the next morning, was at the range by 8:30, and we shot until 4:30-ish. I thought we were going to be later. I actually thought we were going to be until 6 or 7 o'clock, but no, we went through all of the qualifiers, and we didn't really have to shoot.
I got a question, Kelly. You guys did this in 35-degree weather?
Yeah.
I have huge problems shooting in 31-degree weather. How do you guys make it happen in 35?
I don't know. We had a covered area there where we would go back and we would review whatever we were about to do, and we had lots of water and we had snacks.
But it's still 35. Even though it's covered, it's still it's so oppressive trying to function in 30 plus weather.
We're better than you.
Just more used to the heat.
Yes, because Alberta is a dry heat, whereas Ontario, it was moist. I can tell you that it was quite moist. Our clothing was quite moist as well. We had barbecue. We stopped for lunch and we had a barbecue. It was awesome. And then the next day we did more as well. What we did was we did not do the movement and transition pieces on the Saturday. We left those until Sunday. So we did those on the Sunday and we were done just after lunch. And what we did instead, typically in other provinces, you'll have a mini match and then you'll be qualified. We don't do that here in Ontario. So what we did is so Kelly Kincaid is one of our match directors at FRPC. She was helping out with the actual course. So we have a range master. His name is Henri, and he does the course itself, but Kelly usually helps him out with that. And by the way, Henri is just amazing. He's ex-military, he's police, and he's just amazing. So the Sunday afternoon, Kelly set up a couple of stages for us, and we just went through them, and it was a blast, literally. And I did actually the first run through was really, really good. The only problem is it was 24 hits, but what we did was we had 3 no-shoots. I did well with that. Didn't shoot anything. But we had one target. It was one freaking target that had both double. So you had bottom and the top that you had to actually shoot. I was a little low on it at the top target. So I actually engaged the bottom target twice. Alphas, all of them. But yeah, anyways, I got 2 mics on that. And it actually dropped me down to the lower part of everybody. Does that make sense? But we reshot it, and I finished middle of the pack, which was not bad because the people that were actually on the course, they've been practicing for weeks and months, and they actually the last year to go through this, and they are pretty fast, and I'm not as fast. But anyways, did well, enjoyed
Should
it,
have won.
loved it. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I hit all alphas. That's all I want. But do it. I know you have to be quick as well as hitting.
Yeah, you can't fall in love with alphas. You're gonna be too slow.
I'm gonna beat it out of me at some
point. Have to move on. That's what I'm learning. That's what I'm learning.
So I finished middle of the pack, and I thought that was actually pretty good compared to, you know, bottom of the pack. Anyways, I also have been doing a lot with Ladies' Days. We're going to have some of the Ladies' Days that are going to be announced in the event section as well. So if you do know some ladies that are in Woodstock, Ontario, as well as Exeter, Ontario, and there's other ones that are going to be announced soon, sign up for those. But we'll talk about those in the event section. The other thing that I got in stock, or not in stock, I got, but I didn't get a chance to show it the last time I was on the show, but I want to show it now. It is amazing. I love it. So I want to give a huge shout out to PGW. PGW is a sponsor for Project Maple Seed. They provided us with one of these. I'll show you. Oh, it's heavy, by the way. Okay. So what this is the PGW. It's the M15. So it's a trainer rifle. So this one's chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. And yes, I got a man bun in the back. You can tell. So it is, it's the MDT Oryx chassis, and it has a Trigger Tech trigger in it as well. And we put so Vortex is also a sponsor for Project Maple Seed. So we put a Vortex Viper 4-16 by 44 on it as well. And what we're going to be using this for is we're going to be using it for the known distance that we're going to be having across the country as well. So I get to play with this, and yeah, so if anybody comes to a known distance, which is basically we're going to shoot out to the actual distance, and you want to use a rifle and you don't have one, this will be available to you. By the way, I'm not buying you 6.5 Creedmoor. I bought some for myself, and I really need somebody to provide me with ammo. So if you want to sponsor me, or if you want to be my ammo daddy, contact me. Okay.
You can get cheap factory 6.5. Like it's not unreasonable anymore, but you have to look for the deals.
Yeah.
It's not like 308 where you can, get cheap 308 in a lot of places.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm quite in love with this actually. So yeah, I want to go out and shoot it. I haven't had a chance to shoot it yet because, again, I was at the Black Badge. The other thing that we're doing is I'm getting ready for Maple Seed that's going to be happening, or not one, but 2 Maple Seeds that are going to be happening at Stittsville, which is just outside of Ottawa this weekend. I had to get the trailer all worked out again. The Project Maple Seed trailer has been used and abused over the last couple of years, and it's really on its last legs. And I had to go and replace the wiring last night on the lights, because we need lights, blinkers and different things like that. So I replaced that last night, and it's all ready to go. And the other thing is, I didn't know, did I talk about going into and getting my my tag for deer hunting season yet?
I don't recall.
Okay, so that's happened, and I was able to do it before the deadline. I had one day. I'm a procrastinator, yes, I know, but I still had one day. That's lots of time. And I also put in for the doe tags as well. I have to check and see if I actually got in there yet. I don't know yet, so I'll check after the show if I was successful with my doe tags. But I did get my antler tag, so I'm excited. I'm gonna go hunting this season. And somebody asked me if I was going to use the 6.5 as my... No, I'm not. This thing weighs a ton. You
don't have any distances that would justify taking a big, heavy rifle out.
I know, eh?
No.
The last doe I saw was 25 meters. I'm not taking this at 25 meters.
Go prone.
Yeah.
Remember. Twist a little side focus there to 25.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Remember, we shoot them off the deck. That's her. Have a coffee? Shoot them off the deck. Okay. That's it for me. What about you, Adriel?
Oh, I got quite a bit to go over. This is gonna be like a Trevor length what you did in guns this week. Okay, 3-gun. 3-gun was this weekend. That was the Battle of Alberta 3-gun match. It was hot. It was really hot. I was out there on Friday to help with the build day. It was about 31 and all day, and just sticky and sweaty, like working in 31. And that's why I was asking, like, you guys shot that in 35? Like that doesn't seem doable. But I was working in 31, and it was a lot. Let's see, a couple of things that I noticed. One, squads were awesome. I was on like a squad with a bunch of really great shooters, and Kyle. And
Okay. I have to ask, what is it? Was it a requirement for you guys to go shirtless as part of that squad? Just need to know.
Like I had threatened it a little bit earlier. Like I'm gonna shoot this shirtless, and
the skin squad.
Yeah. And Kyle had said, well, if you do it, I'll do it. And I'm like, nah, maybe not. And then last stage of the day, everyone's like talking over on the side there. I went to get my guns, and shirt comes off too.
show offs.
Yeah, a little bit. And it was fun. It was a fun squad. Really fast. Really, the thing I got out of it was like seeing how other people were shooting it fast, and where I needed to keep up. So that was good for me. There's some big advantages there. I also ran into some. Sorry, go ahead, Kelly.
Before you move forward, were you able to remember last time you were talking that you had some really slow times? Were you able to pick up the times you had this one?
Yeah, my times are all right. Yeah.
What about Kyle?
Kyle's times were pretty good too.
Yeah,
we both did some pretty speedy. I think we both picked up a couple of overalls on first stages.
Good.
A couple of divisions, and did pretty well.
Okay.
I got second place limited,
nice.
Which limited is a pretty hot division to be in. Like our first limited was also first overall.
Yeah,
and that was Jay. Last year, it was kind of funny. Last year, I got first, and he was giving away the plaques, and he gave mine away to me, and I gave his away to him, and we did the same thing this year, but opposite. He got first, and I got second. He deserved it. He had a fantastic day, and he had me, or was in, like, if I had like a really good stage, he was like really close to me. If I had a bad stage, he was making up like 10-20 seconds on me. And there was a couple stages that I really bombed. One of the long range ones, I started really strong. It was going like fantastic, and I got to the long range, and I just could not hit anything. I just like pounding rounds out, and I just couldn't make it happen. And I was thinking, what was it? Like, maybe I had my barrel on the post. Maybe I got to get the forend on there. Maybe it's the ammo, because I'm running short on the blaster ammo I typically use, and I got a little bit of other blaster ammo in there. But I've had that out to the range, and it's not that big a difference. So like all these things are going through my head day of, just trying to figure out what it was. But then something I remembered from last match. In the last match I shot, I also didn't do very well on the long range. And that thing that I remembered was that this is a WK. This isn't an MCR. But the thing I remembered is that my forend had shifted a little bit on it. And a guy at the match is like, "Hey, has your forend shifted?" And I'm like, "I don't think so." I went and looked at it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, the forend shifted." He's like, "Oh, I'll give you some Allen keys. You can tighten up your forend." I'm like, "Yeah, makes sense. Let's do that." But then when I got home, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would the forend be loose? Like it's crimped onto that barrel nut. Like it shouldn't be moving. And I played with the barrel a little bit. I'm like, that doesn't feel very tight. And so I pulled the forend off, and the stupid barrel nut was like finger tight.
Loosey.
Yeah. So I don't know that was the issue. Like I might take it out to the range and find exactly the same accuracy as before, but I believe that the barrel nut was loose. It was loose on my gun, and that's what hurt me on. It wouldn't have made any difference to my times, or not to my times, to my position in the match. But it would have been a lot better on the long range stuff. Yeah. So I took that apart, retorqued it using the reaction rods. So it's torqued down now. And I know that if the forend's moving, that barrel nut's loose. It's not just the fore end being loose.
You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shut up.
Do something. Don't just ignore these little signs, these little red flags. Those are red flags. You gotta watch out. Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Didn't we discuss this on Monday? What to do if your shooting goes to shit after a while? What are the steps? Check, make sure that all the screws.
I checked this, like the optic was fine. I checked the optic multiple times.
Yeah.
Barrel nut? You never think about checking your barrel nut on your rifle, and it's a pain in the ass to get to, anyways.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I had one stage where I started shooting the shotgun and like blazing away. I'm like, I can't hit anything. What's going on? Oh yeah, I'm left eye dominant. Oh, there we go.
Didn't we discuss that too?
Yeah. Maybe I brought it up at the maple seed call because it was burning inside me a little bit. All these little ways I could have done that match better. But yeah, so overall the match was really interesting, really good experience. I had my older boy there on Friday and Saturday, but like just with the heat and the amount of work I made him do, he was too wiped out to come out Sunday. So
yeah,
so he stayed back for that, but it was good. I worked him in pretty good, I think. A couple of interesting things I saw at the match that I just want to share because we're on a gun podcast and everything is some of the failures that we saw. So it was hot. It was dusty a little bit of wind, a little bit of dust, and that combination of like maybe people who hadn't been like maybe maintaining their guns enough, or maybe they over oiled them and they got a bunch of carbon and dust and that kind of thing. Yeah. But boy, a couple of really interesting ones. We saw a Ruger PCC, which I've known to be really reliable. We saw one of them go real squirrely from getting dirty and just not work, just flat out not want to cycle. We saw a SIG P226. Actually, Ian Runkle from Runkle of the Bailey was there, and he was running a bunch of the gear that I sold to him, a bunch of like secondhand stuff. And he had his pistol lock up pretty hard on him, just due to like grit and carbon and that kind of thing. So that was interesting. I saw a scope fail on a 1022. So someone was running like a 1022 with like an old Tasco scope on it, and the scope just like totally failed. The reticle started like drifting off into oblivion. FX9 issues, which those kinds of things happen. Yeah, all sorts of interesting things. A lot more failures than I thought I would see. But I guess it was dusty. I guess there was like a little bit of wind and dust and getting in people's guns actions and that kind of thing. And then your typical fare with like WK charging handles and pistons and that kind of thing. Yeah, but it was overall a pretty good match. I gave the patch to Brian. So last week, yeah, found him. Yeah, he actually asked me, which is good because like it was so hot, and on some of the days I was definitely like just baked, and I couldn't sunbaked. Yeah. And I just couldn't, just wasn't really doing so hot and not thinking. And so he's like, oh yeah, those patches. I'm like, yeah. Okay, I'll give you those. Oh yeah. So if you have an MCR, there's two things that I want everyone who's listening to this to do. Number one, with your MCR, tighten and stake your castle nut. The castle nuts that come on them are not tightened down. And I saw this from too many guns. Tighten your castle nut, stake it. I've got instructions on my website look up MCR review, and it's on there. The second thing, check your barrel nut tightness. Because that one, for it to go loose on me like that, I just don't think it was torqued properly in the first place. Because if it was torqued properly, it wouldn't have come off. They don't shoot off by themselves. It's not a thing that happens with barrel nuts, to my knowledge. I've never seen that happen. Yeah. Anywho, do those two things. And then one of the other things I'm doing is I'm looking hard at new shell caddies. So Dustin from ATRS, who was on the show a couple weeks ago, he was rocking the double alpha ones, which are really nice. And then Kyle, you were mentioning some today actually that are also really nice. And then Craig from 3 Gun was also telling me he's got some Invictus. Those look nicer those look a lot more expensive than Craig's used ones probably. Those look really nice. Those look like really nice. What are those shell caddies? Just so that people can.
They're Magload.
Magload.
Yeah, out of the UK.
where they have to shoot shotguns because they don't get semi-auto rifles and pistols and stuff.
They have to shoot shotgun. They shoot a lot of shotgun, and they got stuff figured out.
That looks very fancy.
Yeah.
Probably better than my FMA knockoff caddies and my tack-on that's cracked and hot glued together that I ran at the match. Didn't seem to hurt me that much, but some nicer ones would probably be nicer. They make up like when you get a handful of crap in terms of shells, it slows you down. Chris was just mentioning that we had a castle nut on backwards. Yep. Ooh. That'll get loose. Yep. Yeah. I saw that gun.
How do you?
Yep. And it's like, no. Hit by hand, maybe, or with brass punches.
Do it just like I do a lock nut, flat screwdriver and my pliers, and start beating it.
You can use a drift. You can use a brass drift to tighten. If you don't have the castle nut wrench and you've got an MCR, get a brass drift, get that thing tight, and then get your center punch, and there you're done.
Bob's your uncle.
So I'm looking at new shell caddies because I think like my guns are fine, my mags are fine, my mag pouches are okay. But my shell caddies are one part of my equipment that is by far worse than everything. Like the lock grips are not going to make a seconds of difference. Shell caddies will.
Yeah. Well, yeah, all shell caddies will work. But once you reach a certain level, good shell caddies will propel your loads to just the next level.
Yeah, if you can just get them correctly in your hand quickly, it makes a big difference. Yeah. I got new guns in the mail. Okay, time to do some new gun stuff. I told you that guys this would be long. First one, the one I think I'm the most excited about because it's so cute. The Ruger Wrangler.
Okay, look. Yeah, it's a revolver. You usually hate those.
Yeah, I do. I still hate revolvers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
he seems smitten with this one though.
Dibs.
It's so nice. The Cerakote on it is so nice. This is a $230 pistol. Norinkos are like $300. Norinkos, they're a little bit rough. I like Norinkos, but they're a little bit rough. This is not. Like there's some plastic on it. Okay, plastic grips. Okay, yeah. A little plastic like ejector thing there. Okay, why not?
That's a 22 single.
It sounds so good, and it's like it's so smartly designed. It's such a good pistol for the cost. Don't really like the sights, but they're usable. Trigger is fine, like it's light enough. They said in the manual that you can dry fire it, and then I saw some YouTube videos that say like don't do it, it'll like peen in the chamber walls. And I tried, like I ran it a bunch and I didn't see any damage, so I think it's fine. It's fine for dry firing. It is slow to use though. Like if you were to take one of these things to the range, like you gotta open up that thing. That's one thing I don't think most kids could do is like operate that latch. But then like to feed rounds in one at a time, or if you gotta like knock them out to, knock them out of the chamber there. But it's so cool. It's such a high quality 22 for 200 and something bucks. Yeah.
So it gets the Adriel Michaud stamp of approval. You haven't shot it yet, though.
So far, yeah, I haven't even got the reg cert for it yet, so I'm still waiting on that. But so far, everything's fantastic on it. Now, another one I got is the Zastava P10 from Tyson over at Wolverine, and the grips on it. The grips look really weird, right? They look real chunky and real terrible.
It looks like a 2x4.
They fit so nicely, like
really?
compared to the standard Tokarev, which like it's too small. I could like throw like a big dowel in there, and then finally I've got the right kind of thickness for my hands. This guy, like I would be terrified trying to shoot that thing in 10 millimeter. With this grip, I think it's fine. It's it's got finger grooves on there. I don't know if I really care about the finger grooves or not, but the actual like shape of the grip is fairly ergonomic. It still is a Tokarev, so I mean the trigger pull's still really heavy. They've got this like, it looks like it's like a hinged style like trigger like that, but it's just a sliding, same thing as a Tokarev really. It's got the half cock like a Tokarev does. It's got 3-dot sights. So standard Tokarev has, pretty crappy sights on it. It's got this like flat, crappy blade at the back. This thing's got like, honest to goodness, 3 dots on it. So I won't be shooting at a competition, but sights are all right. Yeah.
You're gonna take it. When are you taking it? This weekend? You got an event.
I need a reg
weekend.
cert. I got Maple Seeds this weekend, so I won't be taking it this weekend. But I need a reg cert, and I need some very expensive ammo. So I'll have to get that before I do too much.
You need an ammo daddy.
I guess so. Yeah. A millimeter, you could. I think like a true 10 millimeter dude would be like reloading this stuff, because I don't think you'd want to just buy factory for it. It's
at the you're doing a bunch of shooting. No.
Yeah, if at the cheapest, it's like 50 cents a round. At the cheapest, aluminum case. And then another interesting thing I got in is this guy right here. This is the WK that TNA is making. Well, not making. They're selling a version of the WK that's spec'd out for 9 millimeter. So it's got a different magwell on it. Well, not even different magwell. It's got like this mag adapter for Glock mags. So that fits into your regular WK magwell, and then you just use this different thing for pulling your Glock mags out. So that's kind of neat. 9 millimeter barrel, no gas tube on it because it is blowback operated. They've got this. Let me crack this thing open so I can show you guys. They've got this big ass buffer on the back that's a consumable. So this like rubber buffer is holding that that bolt from crushing the back. I think the bolt is just. I think it's just a standard WK bolt. I don't know that there's anything different about it. Anyways, yeah, just like straight up 9 millimeter WK. And they threw in a bunch of extra stuff here for me to try. So they've got a folding stock adapter on it, so you can fold the stock over, which I think is cool. That's something you should consider if you're going to get something that doesn't need the buffer tube. And then they're starting to make some 1022 parts now.
Really?
So like, TNA has been like previously they were focused on the AR platform, and they sold like all this stuff around the AR platform. And then ARs went prohib. So they're pivot. Yeah, they're pivoting to WK stuff. Yeah, and the 1022 stuff they're producing themselves. So this is a little extended magazine release that they're making. It's like a thin. I think it's aluminum. It's aluminum or steel. It's not plastic. Okay. And the kind that like hugs the trigger, just like the
Matador Arms.
Matador Arms. Do they have one that does that?
No, sorry. Matador Arms was a paddle at front. So
yeah, they got a paddle.
I
want to say Tactical Solutions has one like this. Yeah. Anyways, that's neat.
That's it.
And then they're also doing things like your auto bolt mod plate release and that kind of thing. So kind of neat. They sent me this huge ass mat, gun working mat and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, that's been cool. So I'm pretty excited to get out to the range because I have all these goodies that I got to get out there with. I got out a video on the SS211. My 13-year-old did it, so it's full of memes.
I watched.
You watched it?
Yeah.
couple in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I played a little bit of Tarkov the other night with some Discord gun nerds. So there's a Discord server I'm on, and a bunch of gun nerds wanted to get into doing some Tarkov. So I went in. I Sherpa'd for them is the terminology. I brought them through. That's where you like guide them through the map and that kind of thing. No. They didn't all survive, but I tried.
I still waiting to play that game.
It's so fun. You need a good PC to play it though. I got my moose tag, so I put in for a draw, and I went and checked, and I noticed I got my moose tag. So
congratulations!
Now I gotta find one. Like the actual getting the tag is one thing. You actually gotta get out there. I think I'm gonna bring my bow and go real early in the season because you can with the bow, and I'm gonna hunt that area hard and get that moose. Moose meat's so good. It's so good. So yeah, I want to get it. Not sure about the mule deer because the mule deer are not out yet, but maybe that one too. Who knows? So last week we were talking about the 303 bullets. Yep. Listener listened to that episode and they're like, "Hey, do you want to split a bag?" I'm like, hell yeah, I want to split a bag. So that's taken care of. He's gonna go pick up a bag of Campro 180 green 303 bullets. This weekend I've got a Lethbridge Maple Seed doubleheader. The weekend after I've got a Chaz and Sherwood Park doubleheader. And yeah, basically I'm going to be on ranges. This is going to be a repeat of last year where I'm on a range like every single weekend. And hopefully it goes the same as last year, and I'm still married at the end of this year.
Hey.
Should be fine. Should be fine.
Should be fine.
Should be. Yeah. A lot real busy though. A really busy summer coming up. Lots of maple seed, and just to make it as super busy, I threw some 3-gun in there, and my range sessions to test these guns is going to be weeknights because I don't have a spare weekend at all. Yeah.
You didn't give us the most important update. How did the mosquito netting on the van work out?
Oh yeah, the battle van, fantastic. Mosquito netting was great. One thing I was missing though. So at Chaz, it was dusty, and I had like sunblock on my legs, and I was just filthy, absolutely like disgusting. I tried doing the hobo shower with like baby wipes, like rubbing down my legs. It did not work. It wasn't enough. So I was at Cabela's 3 days ago, and I saw one of those solar showers for like $10. I'm like, yes. So I picked up one of those. That'll be the final piece to my true battle van solution. Nice. I'll hang up a shower if I get real dirty, and I can just like do a parking lot shower.
Now you can sell your house, so you're good.
Don't need it anymore. It's useless to me. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's it for me. Who's up next? Mo?
I'll keep mine short. So I had another IPSC match in Quebec on Saturday. It was the first time it didn't rain, and I was kind of missing the rain because it was very humid out there. It went well. I'm happy with my progress. So the dry firing is paying off, and I keep getting better, and I need to. I had a high percentage of alphas, so the accuracy is fine. I just got to start getting faster because I can see the difference in the people that are ahead of me, and it's it's obviously the time that's keeping me down. But overall, it was great. I ordered a shooting mat from Cabela's because it was on sale. I guess it goes on sale every once in a while. And so that's for the maple seed that I'll be doing in August. I figure there's going to be some nap time involved during it. And that's really it. How about you, Kyle?
Well, I was down in Edmonton this last weekend at Chaz for their Battle of Alberta charity match. It's on the same squad as Adriel. We had a great squad, and they had a ton of just really fun, great stages. I didn't dislike a single stage. Every stage was really good. Probably, in my opinion, the best match they've put on that I've been to. Noticed a few things. Lots more juniors competing, and families coming out. Like,
good.
I mean, I remember 2 years ago when I was heavy competing, basically my family was like more or less it. This time there's half a dozen kids out in the field just running around playing, which
nice.
3 to 6, 7 years old. So,
and the mom out resetting with the baby on her back.
Yeah.
Oh,
she had
really?
the backpack with the baby, and she was out resetting. Yeah.
Not sitting back or anything. Nope. She's shooting. She's resetting out there. It was something else.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Adriel got a new best friend. Gage was out there helping him reset stages on Saturday, and just right on Adriel, helping Adriel out. So Adriel got a new best friend. For myself, match went good. Actually really happy with my performance overall. A couple brain farts. Well, one really bad brain fart stage. I had gone out really different plan than everyone else. Saw something other people didn't, and got to my rifle, did my long range steel, was all happy with myself, and got my rifle. Grabbed my pistol, pulled it up on a target that had a pistol paper and a rifle paper, And just as I was squeezing my trigger, I noticed rifle paper and oh crap, shot and basically left 6 rifle paper not engaged. So that was 60 seconds of penalties right there on that one stage. Doubled my time there. And then the first stage on the second day, my pistol bullets just stayed in bed because they didn't wake up and didn't want to hit the target. So, but other than that, really good performance. I think I ended up taking 7 division stage wins, and then out of the 10 stages, and then 4 overall stage wins, and finished second in TAC Ops. So got myself another black there.
Nice.
Congratulations.
So,
That's awesome.
So yeah, overall, really happy. Thanks.
Awesome.
It was a really fun weekend. Fun shooting with Adriel. Shooting sporting clays this weekend at Wapiti. They have their challenge this weekend. So down at the range tomorrow night and change of pace. Instead of running around, it's slow down and just focus and relax. I can actually announce something with our range now too.
Yay.
I've been working on designs, and I mentioned a while ago that we had submitted a design to the CFO for approval in order to reopen our rifle ranges. Well, we got word from the CFO that the design that we put together was approved. So now we just have to build it and we can reopen our outdoor ranges finally. So that's exciting.
Awesome. Congratulations.
We had thank you. Yeah, we had a range meeting last night and we all decided, because we're going to be looking for sponsorship to help pay to build the wall and that. So we decided, we might as well just get it out there. So, some stuff with Lunatic Tactical. I just signed up with Magload. We were talking about them and their caddies earlier. So now Lunatic Tactical is, as far as I know, and their website, the sole Canadian dealer for them, which I'm really excited about. Start pulling those in and start selling those. We'll see how they go. They are a pricey caddy, but they have a lot of other stuff there too, like extensions and whatnot. So, and I also spoke with Roth Performance, the guys who make X-Rail, and that was a shot in the dark because they make a captured connector. Basically, it's what your factory mag tube screws into the receiver with a captured follower. So when you're opening the load port, you're not cutting away any of that follower retention. So emailed them, seeing if there was any way I could get those connectors up here in Canada, and they emailed back and said, yep, tell us how many you like. So other than that, I didn't get my moose or my cow elk tag, and I'm waiting till August 12th for them to release the mule deer draws.
So how much do you hate Adriel right now?
Thing is, I can still go get a moose. I just have to do it in archery season.
Right.
So
no problem.
Yeah, no problem. I didn't get mine last year. The place we normally go, they weren't in the field until after the archery season had closed. So I can still go after moose. It's just
yeah. But you still hate him a little bit, right?
Sure. Not really. No, that's good. I knew I wasn't going to get it. I know somebody with like a priority 4 or 5, and he didn't get his moose up here. So I knew it's only like a priority 1. So I knew I wasn't going to get it. But that's pretty much about it for me.
Great. Upcoming events sponsored by Telis Alpha. Telis Alpha is a Canadian digital agency that works exclusively in the firearms vertical. They help with business processes, strategic planning, websites, e-commerce, and battling the stigma the industry carries with banks, merchant processors, and social media. Learn more at telisalpha.com. It's nice to see we have a big list of events. Next 30 days of Maple Seed. Maple Seed Lethbridge, July 17th and 18th. Spots still available. Stittsville on July 18th. Sherwood Park on July 25th.
Okay.
I don't know if you wanted your other one on there, Kelly.
Yeah. So the one on Saturday is sold out, but the one I still have one spot available on this Sunday, which is the 18th. We had somebody drop out. So if anybody's interested, go onto our website and sign up for it. Only one spot left, though. Just to let you know. Yeah. So go and do that. Sorry, you didn't interrupt, but I did.
Oh, it's okay
to interrupt.
The next one we have is Rimfire Race Guns match in partnership with CRPS happening in Lloydminster on July 17th. We have the service pistol matches at Guelph Rod and Gun Club, July 17th and August 28th. Details on CGN, register on Practice Score. We have the Bill Bramley Challenge Sporting Clay match at Wapiti Shooters Club in Grand Prairie, July 16th to 18th. Preliminary Friday, main event Saturday, Sunday. Subgauge Super Sporting and True Pair game also available to shoot. Hope I got that right. WPRC, register now and save the date on Saturday, August 7th, at 9 a.m. We'll be hosting WPRC will be hosting its first ever ladies only event, Guns and Heels, partnered with the Canadian Coalition for Farms Rights and the Gun Dealer, and sponsored by Curry's and Canadian Tire Woodstock. Ladies, Guns and Heels will provide a safe and enjoyable setting for you to receive instruction and try a variety of firearms in various calibers, including 22, 9mm, and 45 ACP pistols, 38 special revolver, 12 and 20 gauge shotguns, and rifles such as 22, 223, 308, and SKS. Eye and ear protection will be provided. Registration is $50. Meal by Bridget's Catering included. Please pre-register by Friday, July 23rd to aid in preparations for this event, but don't wait too long as space is limited. To register, send your name and an e-transfer $50 to WPRC2005@gmail.com. Security answer, WPRC2005. Women are the fastest growing demographic in the firearms community. Join us for an event where you can experience firearms firsthand in a safe and comfortable environment. Cost $25 each. Sunday, August 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Exeter, Ontario. Questions and intent to register, please email dougmoore1964@msn.com. All safety and firearms supplies will be provided.
Okay, so I think I actually forgot to put in part of this. Sorry, guys. This one is going to be at I think it's called the Claybird gun range, which is in Exeter, Ontario. So there's the two separate ones. So it's WRPC, which is the Woodstock one, which is Saturday, August 7th in Woodstock, Ontario. And then we have the one that's in Exeter that's on the Sunday, August 8th. That's going to be at the Claybird one. So sorry, I let you down on that, Dermo.
It's okay. I'll forgive you. we can still be friends.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
In the news, we have a gun resembling Lego toy sparks backlash in U.S. Who wants to talk about that one?
I was trying to get the hard-hitting stories if I can. Here's the gun. It resembles the Lego, but it does not say Lego on it. It says Block 19 on it. That's very clearly not Lego.
Yeah.
This is what's the knockoff Lego? Bricks. This is like a Bricks.
Yeah.
Gun. Yeah. Anywho, they're being criticized that they look like toys and that you shouldn't make a gun look like a toy. But I don't know.
Okay, so seriously, weren't we just talking about something that looked a little bit like this? The CZ.
Oh, the parrot.
Parrot.
Oh, is that what it looks like? Wow.
Yeah, kind of.
I think. Would you consider the parrot more colorful?
Yeah.
Here's the parrot. It's pretty colorful.
It is pretty colorful.
Yeah.
Not as colorful though. Not as
colorful. No. I guess this one's a little bit more
Okay,
colorful.
so I do know that people will Cerakote their firearms, and they come up with all kinds of different things. There's a wonderful one out there, by the way, for Wonder Woman that I would so like to do.
There's the Nintendo Zapper one,
right? So
like it, yeah.
Seriously, people.
I think I don't know. Like an anti-gunner sees this and they're like, "Oh, they're trying." What if a kid got a hold of this?
They're trying to appeal to kids. Yeah.
If your kid got your gun, you've already failed several times.
Yeah.
I like their reasoning why they wanted to get it. So Utah-based Culper Precision first shared pictures of the Block 19 on its Instagram page on June 24th, when the company said they designed it with Legos as they wanted the Second Amendment to simply be too painful to tread on. Can't walk on it because it's Lego. It'll destroy your feet.
Nice.
That's good.
That's so funny. Anywho, that's the Block 19.
That's the Block 19. Love the name. New gun sponsor, Bolt Action Coffee. Slamfire Radio is now a brand ambassador for Bolt Action Coffee. The coffee is roasted in small batches and is quite honestly some of the best coffee you can get your hands on. Send it to your house by going to boltactioncoffee.com, discount code SLAMFIRE. In the new gun stuff, we have the Barnell 762x39 subsonic, 160 grain.
Nope. Even more than that.
Oh,
196. Boom. 200 grains of bullet out of an SKS or something like that. This thing's going to be slow.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting, right? What you want a 300 blackout, but you don't want to pay for a 300 blackout. What if you just get a big old 196 grain bullet and shoot out of your SKS? Quieter.
Lob.
Anyways, kind of neat. So Spectre Ballistics or Mag Dump has these. They're 196 grain Barnall 762x39 rounds. Very interesting. Reduced bullet speed. Yes, subsonic. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The next one on here, CTC Supplies has the Polymer 80 standard frame with internal parts installed, available for $199. So if you wanted to make a Gucci Glock with all Gucci parts, you can start with this. That'll be your base.
Hey Mo, how's your Gucci Glock going?
It's in the safe. It's been there. It's been there a while.
Purgatory. It's in purgatory.
Yeah.
The next one, hey, it seems like colorful is what we're going for today. Here's the Model C71 receivers, and Spectre has a whole bunch of colors for these things: blue, green, red, purple, or black if you want something boring, I guess. These are the receivers the 1022 receivers that have an integral rail on the top and also take the Tough 22 mags. Saw a couple of these last weekend. Yeah, there were a couple on the prize table for the Battle of Alberta. The next one here, Wolverine Supplies has the Taurus TX22 Competition 22 LR, and it is spacey looking. It takes the optics mount on this thing is right where the chamber would be. It's like right in the middle of the pistol, and I don't know. That's neat, I guess. Yeah, it's a very odd pistol, but kind of neat competition pistol. $500.
Could use color though.
Yeah, I suppose you could hit it with your spray gun.
That's
right?
a little boring.
Yeah. It's got those like
black.
spacey angles to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Needs more color though.
Look how square it is.
Get some Krylon or something like that and start hitting it. The next one here, JF Gunworks is considering making some CZ Shadow 2 brass grips. So if you absolutely have to game everything to the 99.9th percentile, they're just looking for interest right now. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, let them know, and they might start making them. They're saying like flat or palm swell, what do you want? And they're going to start making some. These guys also make base pads for the CZ Shadows and that kind of thing. So maybe they'll make some heavy grips. I think the Shadow 2 is heavy enough. Like, I don't feel like I need any more weight on it, but
Oh no.
you know,
Oh no.
Some people would disagree.
I'd probably get him if I had a CZ.
just because you got to do things to that level, right?
Exactly.
You got to like, no, it's not enough to just think that I'm a tryhard. You have to know I'm a tryhard. I think the brass grips really like accentuate that.
Yeah.
The next one here. Okay, we have two 180s, two 180 lowers that were announced this week. The first one is by Spectre Limited. So these are the manufacturers of the MCR. Yeah. And this lower is different than the standard MCR lower. So it's a little bit more skeletonized, a little bit more the back. One thing that's different on this one is that it doesn't use the adapter on the back like the typical 180 does. Instead, it just flows on. So is this the same thing? Yeah, that's the same thing. It just flows on to a buffer tube connection. So it is a little bit longer than a typical receiver, but it does have that integrated with it. So that's kind of interesting. And the next thing that happened is that Spectre Ballistics International, or SBI, also released a 180 lower. So now two Spectre lowers are going to be on the market, which is going to be a little bit confusing. And Kyle and I actually saw this thing in action on the weekend as well, because one of the representatives from that company was there, and he was shooting a version of this Lynx 180B lower. A couple of things that I like about this one. One, the trigger pins are normal length. So you can use captured trigger pins if you want to. You don't have to use anything weird. Two, it's a little bit lighter. So it's a 1/4 pound lighter than the WK180C or WSMCR lowers.
Okay.
And I believe when I was talking to Tristan, he was talking about the back of it. They're considering releasing it with different back plates. So one will be like a buffer tube, one will be a pick rail on the back. And that pick rail is what Brownells does with their BRN 180 in the States, because then you can offer folding and really super lightweight stocks. That's like the style du jour of the pistol stocks in the US right now, is to use those pick rail based ones. So lots more selection on 180s coming in the future. Oh, I skipped over one too. True North Arms is also releasing an adjustable gas system for the WK180. So you can A, adjust your gas if you want to like tune things in, or B, go to 762 by 39 or 300 blackout. So they've got all the stuff you need to make a 180 in 762 by 39 or 300 blackout. Or if you want a gamer 180 and you want to dial that gas to be perfectly adjusted so that it just barely cycles, and it doesn't, schwack it. They got that stuff. It's kind of cool. It's like all the manufacturers are doing what the air market is like in the US. They're all like doing it around the 180s here, because now we'll have 4 manufacturers of 180s, 5 maybe. Jard, Kodiak, Spectre, SBI. Yeah,
2 Spectres.
Good. Yeah, 2 Spectres. Lots of selection.
Owner of the CTM range and CRAFM store in Lachine, Quebec. He is also IPSC Quebec president. Welcome, Frank.
Hi there, Mo. How are you?
Good. You?
I'm all right, thanks. Hey, guys.
Hi, Frank.
Hey, Frank.
Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
So to get us started, tell us about your firearms background and what led you to opening up a range and store in Quebec.
I hope you got time.
Oh, we do.
Well, look, at 5 years old, growing up as an Italian immigrant here, our families used to go to the country every weekend. And, my uncles, my brothers, my dad would, shoot shotgun and rifles and obviously the younger guys like myself and my cousins we shoot pellet guns. Growing up, I thought every 5-year-old did that on the weekends. But I came to find out that wasn't the case. So that was basically how I got introduced to them and where I started in terms of my background. Obviously, then as I got older, then there was handguns, and I ended up going to a local shooting range here in Montreal, which is CTVSP, and started shooting handguns. And then I started to compete a little bit and started to travel locally and throughout Canada and the world. And I realized that there was a niche here that was not really, being taken advantage of. So I decided to open a range and go in that direction. So that's how it started.
Oh, very nice. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned competing. So when did you start in the IPSC world?
Well, I started in 1993, actually. As I said, I was a member of CTVSP, and there was a gentleman there, the late Nick Manudakis, who was at the time Canadian champ, and obviously that's very impressive. And he, and IPSC by itself is actually a very dynamic sport. You didn't need the Canadian champ to tell you that. And I obviously got hooked. I was always involved in sports, so there is a lot of athleticism involved. It's basically multitasking with a gun at the end of the day. So and safety comes first. So to me that was definitely a bonus right there. So and that's how it all started.
Nice. And what motivated you to like to be involved in the actual organization and leading to being president now?
Well, I guess I'd like to tell you I'm one of the OGs, but I'm not. But I've always been involved. I really don't like titles. I'm not a title kind of guy. But I just felt that the association for a while really had no direction. It is a volunteer responsibility, if I can use that term. But I understand it's volunteering, but it wasn't being run properly, in my opinion, at the time. So we kind of modernized the whole aspect of it, and then of course, because of my implication in the community of shooting and IPSC, of course. I've sponsored many of the nationals. I've been at, I think of the last 15 nationals. I'm treasurer of IPSC Canada. I've been team manager of the Canadian national team at the World Championships twice. I've traveled with the team. I've been on the contingency. I'm very much involved as well in the retail area, and I also distribute the Infinity firearms, which are basically like saying the Ferrari of the 2011s or the race guns. So I've been involved on so many levels, and I've seen so much, and I'm sure there's still a lot more to be seen. So I decided to get involved and kind of, and I have to appreciate that. I also have an amazing board. I really do, and I'd like to give them a shout out if I can, because.
Of course.
And I'll do it in French if you don't mind. Je voudrais remercier le CA de IPSC Québec, en commençant avec les VP, Yves Saint-Laurent, Stéphane Raté, le trésorier qui est Philippe Brouard, et le secrétaire qui est Louis Gaudreau. Great people, very much involved. They love the sport. They don't do it for any other reason. And I'm very proud to be president along with those individuals.
Yeah, I've started to meet some of them, and I agree with you. They're all great guys and definitely welcoming, especially to somebody new. I've always felt like all the matches I've been going to, but everyone's very welcoming. So
and what I love about our board, and this is not by design, every region is basically covered in Quebec. I mean, I can go to Val d'Or, which is like 7 hours away. You can appreciate that, they don't have the base that Montreal and or Quebec or Three Rivers have. But, the Quebec is nicely covered, which is a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. These days, are you still getting out to matches?
First of all, you're lucky because you got to see me shoot a match on this past weekend, which
I did, yes.
is the only reason why it happened is because I took the weekend off because it was my birthday, and but to answer your question, Mo, definitely not enough. I'd like to do more of it, and like I always tell everyone, if you want to cut back on the shooting, open a range. I mean, you have to appreciate that my job is, everybody's hobby.
True.
So so I need to. Somebody's got to run that business, and there's very many aspects to it. And you know my business, Mo. You've seen it yourself. So having said that, definitely not as much as I'd like to, for sure.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense, and it's a beautiful range for anyone who's hasn't been to it. Great store, great range. And I mean, I'm sure all businesses in Canada have been affected in the last, how long has it been now? 17 months of COVID. And so what's your take on it? What have you seen? What have you experienced in terms of like losing members, gaining members?
It's funny where you're asking me this question. I was just speaking to, a lawyer who's very much involved in the firearms advocacy, and he asked me the same question, and I said it's all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason. I mean, traffic has obviously died down. You do have, if I can use the term loosely, the diehards, the guys that are really passionate about it. They will come regularly, but a lot of individuals have in the firearm community have taken on other hobbies. Whether it be flying kites, whether it be remote control cars, or whether it be drones, whether it be ATVs, and it's not very complicated. We're all involved in social media. We all follow a lot of guys in the shooting community, and you can see at least 15 to 20% of those individuals now posting stuff that are not gun related. And so that from that aspect, it sucks. The government hasn't helped.
No.
Whether you're in Ontario, Alberta, Quebec, BC, it doesn't make a difference. I mean, it's I hate to use the word, it's a cluster beep, there's no rhyme or reason to what they do, when they do it, how they do it. So I look, you just wake up every morning and say, okay, what bullshit do I have to deal with today? And in the terms of COVID, of course, because I can tell you stories that, some are quite real sad, but it's not going to get us anywhere.
No. It sounds like we're coming out of it slowly. So
COVID's over. In Alberta,
COVID's over. In Alberta, yes, apparently in Alberta it's over, but the rest of Canada it's not.
Well, I wish it upon everyone, but now the issue is, they're here in Quebec anyway, and I can't speak for the rest of Canada. If you're not vaccinated now, you're going, you may not even be able to go to work, type of thing. So that's a little bit of an issue, especially for me. I'm not vaccinated. I do have an appointment in 2025 until all the human trials are over. But until such date, I plan to remain as is and to remain healthy and to deal with whatever is dealt to me. But in terms of a business, I don't know, unless you're in the PPE stuff and unless you're dealing with the government, you've taken a shit kicking.
Yeah, even those PPE guys, like that's temporary. They made their money, but that's a temporary gig. It's all that stuff's blowing out right now. You go to Walmart or Superstore or anything, you buy something like, oh yeah, take some free wipes, take some free hand sanitizer, because no one needs it anymore.
Yeah, I remember I paid $16 for a bottle of alcohol at one point. And they only had 300 left, so I bought them all. So today I can, if I have to sell that stuff, I could sell it for more than $3.
Yeah. It's drinkable. Is it drinkable?
But you need to understand, I had a business. I don't know how much alcohol I'm going to need. You know, I have staff to worry about. I have to, if I don't have it, I'm gonna get raked over the coals. If I only buy 50 bottles, I know that the next person is gonna buy the entire thing. So whether I like it or not, I bought the whole thing. And am I proud of it? No. Did I have to do it? Yes. Yeah. So,
yeah. Cool.
Are you seeing more in like with the during the COVID period? Did you see more interest in people getting into the firearms world, wanting to get their memberships, wanting to shoot?
I was really hoping you would ask me that question. And if you weren't, I was going to find a way to actually bring it up. It was really, I'm sure as individuals, we all know individuals that are anti-gun, right? And whenever they're around, well, you obviously don't bring up that subject because, it never ends well. No. But I do have to admit that when COVID first hit in March of 2020, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah. February, March. And then, as soon as the fucking toilet, excuse my language, as soon as the toilet paper ran out, I had a lot of those anti-gunners calling me and saying, hey, would you have anything like, can you be a little more clear? Do you have anything that kind of looks real but isn't? Oh, you mean like a BB gun? Yeah, something like that. Or like, do you need a permit for like a shotgun type of thing? Yeah, you need a permit for a shotgun type of thing. Yeah. I said, maybe you want some bear spray. That maybe could help. I don't know what you're doing. Yeah. And then of course it's stronger than me. So why are you looking for this? Like, are you, last week you were like, I was like the Antichrist to you. Yeah. Now all of a sudden I'm your buddy. What prompted this? We all know that works. Of course, there's no more toilet paper. I need a gun.
Yeah. It's interesting because we heard a lot of stories out of the U.S. about that, like the anti-gun people wanting to become gun owners, but in Canada they obviously the mainstream media just kind of ignores it. They don't want to promote the growth of firearms at all.
I have relatives. There are 3 brothers. One is a military boy. One is an avid hunter. And one of them is like, granola as they come. Okay. So anyway, I won't mention any names or anything. Not the military boy and not the hunter. The other gentleman, he called me up, and the first thing he told me is, "Don't tell my brothers I called you." And so I listened to what he had to ask, and funny enough, and I said, look, maybe you should speak to one of your brothers because they can probably help you a lot more than I can. Yeah. So having said that, it's quite, I'm going to say funny because I really want to say hypocritical. But just let's use the word funny instead of hypocritical in this case. Because like I said, they run out of toilet paper. The next thing they need is a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, dude? You hated me last week. Yeah. Yeah.
Now he's got a treasure trove of toilet paper he's got to defend.
I'm going to show you how to reload type of thing. Really?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very. Like I said, I get to see a lot of different walks of life and different perspectives. So yeah, some days it's quite entertaining and some days it's quite frustrating. So
frustrating, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the political scene locally for you? The current political scene.
Boy. Are we talking federally, provincially or?
Well, when it comes to, municipal handgun bans, because that's been a big story the last little while, right?
First of all, okay, obviously that would be detrimental. Okay, let's start with that. But we also have to be kind of logical a little bit about this. I mean, as I said, this would be detrimental. So let's keep that in mind. But the logistics that the government would have to implement, and people already residing on the island with firearms, I mean, it would be a housing disaster. I mean, I don't know, what that number is on the island, but does that mean, are you going to grandfather it? Are you going to register that address? I mean, does that mean that firearms won't even be allowed to transit via the airport? There's so many unknowns. I mean, I've had conversations with lawyers, on several occasions, and not one of them, and I tell you at least half a dozen of them, and not one of them was able to tell me, or even being on the same page, for that matter, because there's so many aspects. So just that in itself would be a gigantic task on behalf of all three government levels. And we all know that you don't give something to a government to manage, because it's anyway, that's my take on it. Like I said, if the gavel comes down, like Mr. Clownface, and he decides to put down the gavel, and this is what it is, and we'll make the rules as we go. Well, like I said, that would be detrimental. But do I see it happening anytime soon? I don't know about that. But like I said, even an inch towards it is already an issue. So we will always have to get ready to put up blockades, obviously. But this is, it would, like I said, it would be disastrous. And I'd like to add one more thing to all this.
Of course.
From a political / legal point of view, everything that Trudeau has done has not saved one life yet.
Oh, I'm sure we can all agree on that. So
absolutely.
So I was filling out my ATTs for some matches in Ontario this weekend, and the whole time I'm handwriting these forms, I'm like, so exactly what's the point of this? Like,
Who
does it help? Who does it help?
Right? Here's a responsible legal firearm owner filling up documents,
paperwork
on a weekend, trying to comply with the law. So in the event that he gets stopped or whatever on the way to a match, everything is legal.
Yes.
While on the same highway right next to him could be a gangbanger with 6 loaded, fully auto converted, whatever. That's not an issue.
Well, are you saying they don't trigger lock them in opaque cases, or
no. That's exactly what I'm saying, Mo.
Yes.
Just one single trigger lock. They didn't lock the case too.
Yeah, they had the trigger lock. They didn't remember the combination on how to get it open, but it was there.
Yeah. It's. I mean, we all know it's ridiculous. It does nothing. It just harasses us, and in the end, they loosen. They reduce the punishment for the actual real criminals, and then they just get us to do more paperwork. More paperwork.
I've always said a real criminal is, before he does a crime, he's not going to go check the law and say, am I going to get 10 years or 15 years if I do this?
No.
He's never done. I mean, look, I don't know very many criminals, but I don't think that's what they do.
No, they're not. They're not working that out before they commit a crime.
So you can increase prison terms, you can increase whatever, great, but they don't care. And what does that have to do with responsible legal firearm owners?
Mm-hmm.
One thing in our sport, the difference, Mo. Are any of you also IPSC shooters?
Yeah, shoot a
From
little
time
bit.
to time.
Okay, so we all know what a safety table is, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
we've all done our black
You know,
badge.
if we're all at a match and you need to go use the little boy or little girl's room and you take your gun out on the safety table, even if it's bling bling, somebody will go there and say, "Oh my God, that's absolutely beautiful." They will never touch it.
Mm-hmm.
They will never even consider stealing it. On the contrary, if they see it there for too long, they're going to start asking questions to who it belongs to.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Yeah.
You know, now let's flip that around a second. If we were all criminals, the minute Kelly would open the door to the bathroom, even before she managed to lock that door, that gun would be gone. And of course, nobody saw it. And we were all standing there, but you know, 4 men watching a girl go into a bathroom. We all fucking lost it, and we you know, of course, you know. So
what is the saying? There's no honor amongst thieves, right?
exactly. So this to me is the biggest difference right there. You know, where the responsible legal firearms owners will care for one another and look out for one another, while on the other side it's just me, and me.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big difference.
You can get some decent street cred with one of those CZ parrots, though.
Yeah.
Have you seen one of those, Mo? The CZ parrot?
No.
It's like it's the most colorful gun you can get. It's a factory option from CZ, and it's got all the colors on it.
Is it like the Maria Gugino?
Yes.
Take that up a notch. Just like use a bunch of clashing colors, all the clashing colors.
Do you remember? Do you remember the United Colors of Benetton? They used to have a Golf, a Volkswagen Golf. The door would be purple. The one panel would be yellow. One panel would be green. The other panel was red. Something like that.
Huh.
Am I correct in stating that?
Will it make me a better shooter?
Probably not. No.
Probably not.
Other people will think
it'll make you think. It'll make you look better though.
I'll be cooler. Okay, I gotta go for that then.
NASA will be able to say exactly where you are.
No, it actually won't make you cooler.
No, well,
no, it won't. No, it won't. It's sparkly. Not really sparkly. It's colorful. Just like you, Mo.
Thank you, I think.
Awesome. So what kind of I've never been out to your shop. What kind of stuff do you guys carry there? Like what's your specialty, or is it all IPSC related, or just kind of a little bit of everything?
We're more on the higher end. If I can compare myself to a car dealership, I would be your exotic car dealership. You know, I mean, I do carry the basics, you know, the Glocks and so on and so forth. But whatever I do carry, you know, for example, on the Smith & Wesson, it would always be most of the stuff out of the Performance Center. You know, SIG, same thing. You know, the custom shop, and you know, a lot of more of that. And yes, we are very much involved in IPSC. That is, you know, that is definitely one of our driving forces. You know, being the distributor of Infinity in Canada, or you know, we're also known as SVI sometimes. You know, that's a big part of our business. We're also, a lot of people don't know, but we're also the master dealers for Luago Arms, which is the Alien, which you guys know full well. I don't know. I think you had Alex on the show a few weeks ago. And Alex is now shooting an Alien, actually. So yeah, we're the only master dealer in Canada. There's a distributor as well, which is Tactical Imports, but we're their master dealers. We're also working with 2 other. We're developing actually with an Italian company, an IPSC firearm for the production and the production optics. But we're also now carrying something called Armazecca, which is very much IPSC firearm. Some have aluminum frames, some have aluminum slides. They're quite new in the market. They're only a few years old, but they're definitely beautiful machines. In fact, we have a few of them floating around. There was a couple of them at the Shooting Edge for about 3-4 weeks for them to demo with clients. And I think the next one is going to the next demo is going to Wolverine, if my memory serves me right.
Okay.
But yeah,
what's the price point on those, Frank?
They range between 1,300 and low 2,000s, depending on the model. So there's that. We're also very much involved with obviously accessories and components on firearms. Whether it be base pads, triggers, the whole thing. We also kind of like to stay away from, the more the common stuff that's everywhere. For example, we carry 2 lines of shotguns, one is Salix and the other one is Shelby Arms out of Turkey. Very well priced. I think $399 or something. But what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of the Turkish actions and Turkish walnut is actually shipped to Italy for them to make all those fancy guns with. So the Turks are actually quite impressive when it comes to shotguns. I do have to admit they don't cease to amaze me every time, especially from their price point.
Yeah.
Well, the Lira really took a kicking over the last couple of years, so it's the conversion rate's fantastic.
Yeah, and like I said, they do really make a good product. They really do. Is it the best I've ever seen? No, but for that kind of money, hey, you'd be crazy to pass it up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's and again, we do carry the all the other K-Dex and Remington, which is now who knows God what brand is going to be.
What's going on with that? Yeah.
Oh boy. Listen, we just got in. I want you to know something. These were ordered in January of 2019.
Okay.
They walked in yesterday. The Remington 700 shorties, the bolt actions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when those came out.
We were supposed to get like 50 of them. And I had a list of, I think, like 20, 25 individuals. We got 9.
Ooh.
9. And that's all we're seeing.
Wow.
Like, there's no rhyme or reason anymore. But anyway, all this to tell you. So, Adriel, to answer your question, and now recently, and Mo can attest to this, we've gotten a little bit more into the survival gear. Cots and tents and jerry cans and fire starters and paracord and blankets. We got woobies. We got our own woobies, with our name on it. Camel netting. All stuff like that. A little bit, which could be survival, camping, hunting. A little bit of all that. Walkie-talkies as well. Just a little bit of everything. More, like I said, due to the fact that the traffic has slowed down quite a bit, and and Mo asked me a question earlier and I didn't answer it. Yes, membership has dropped, Mo.
Yeah, no, I was curious if people are keeping their memberships up or kind of, I don't want to say giving up or, backing off, during between the government's attacks and then COVID and combination of both.
The major issue here is that the CFO, and just so we can fill everybody in here, in Quebec, if you're a member of a range, you need to discharge your firearm at least one time a year at the range. If you don't, you are in default. And you need to redo something called the Law 9 course. Okay, just so we all understand. So during this 17 months, a lot of individuals who believe the nice man on TV with the suit didn't go out of their homes and didn't renew and didn't come and shoot and didn't do this and didn't do that. And now all of a sudden they find themselves that they can't renew. And they don't want to have to retake a course that they've already taken because they said, look, this is fucking COVID. It has nothing to do with me, brother. I mean, so they just basically tell you, chuck you, Farley, and they don't come back.
Yeah.
And
what's the long 9 course? Like, what is that you have to take? I'm not familiar with it.
It's an aptitude test. It's a practical and theoretical aptitude test. Which is total bullshit. It's an open book exam. You know, you got to fire 10 rounds out of a firearm, and you just got to make sure that you keep the firearm pointed in a safe direction and only put your finger on the trigger when it's time to shoot. You are not judged or rated on the accuracy. So you can have a target in front of you with 5 yards, and you can have, you know, and empty out a magazine on it and hit it twice in the upper corner, you know, left side, you know, which is, you know, 8 inches away from the center, and that's fine. You know, so it's really nothing that has any credence. It was more something that was put into law after that Nimrod, Kim Vergil, decided to shoot up Dawson College. And the Law 9 is actually called Anastasia because that's the young lady's name who died. So this law was, in my opinion, was always, and with all due respect to all the people that lost their lives, it was a tragedy. You know, I don't mean to belittle them or the situation, but this was a political plot to basically, you know, appease the population, to say, hey, you know, we're going to put another level of screening in there, and let's make it an aptitude test. Like, duh. Really? Okay. So that's all it is. And the federation gets to make a few bucks out of the deal.
Yeah, like even the requirement of you have to shoot once a year. Like, so if you shoot once a year, you're okay, and if you don't shoot once a year, then you're just holding guns to commit a crime at some point. It's just nonsense.
What's the high score on the 10 rounds? 2 seconds, 3 seconds, like it's the average. No high score. What's the hit factor? Max hit factor on that one.
So, like I said, we have no choice but to abide by it. And if Mo were to come to the range, and his membership was expired, as well as obviously his Law 9, and he discharged the firearm, chances are the club would be reprimanded.
Yep.
Quebec weird.
You know, most I'm not advocating that that's most character and type of individual he is. You know, I mean, but there are people that will sneak in because, you know, they don't want to pay the membership, or they don't have it financially, or, you know, whatever. But they don't realize what kind of damage they can do to a business. You know, because we get blamed for it. You know,
absolutely, yeah.
You know, which makes absolutely zero sense. But you know, that's like saying, you know, somebody walking into a retail store, shoplifting and leaving, but yet blaming the owner because he shoplifted.
Well, that's our world. Our guns get stolen, and we're the criminals because we didn't store them safely.
Of course,
yeah.
Of course.
Well, hopefully they don't get stolen. No. When's the last time that yours got stolen, Mel?
Never.
Half?
No.
Adriel?
I'm home all the time. You got to get through me.
Yeah.
I was going to say I sleep in front of the safe, so they have to go around me to get to them.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. But anyways, Frank, you have some of the best reputation in Quebec for not only retail store, but also the range as well. All my friends that live in Montreal and Montreal area that go to your store have nothing but great things to say about you.
And it means a lot. It means a lot to me.
So
we work hard. I really do. And I also want to, I want to make myself very clear. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's Frank Nardi." Frank Nardi can't do this on his own. You know, I have an amazing staff. My assistant Lizzie is a godsend. You know, I have some, you know, knowledgeable people, which in today's day and age is not easy to find. So I am kind of blessed to have some really good. I have a good team as well. So, but I appreciate the comment, and I will definitely let my team know that you guys said that. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going through the website, and your indoor ranges look really nice, nice and fresh.
Thank you.
And you renovated recently too. The store, the offices.
Yeah, we, like I said, we got into a little bit of different angles There's one thing actually I didn't mention yet, and I jumped on the opportunity when this was presented to me because I thought it was absolutely great. We carry a line of electric mountain bikes. They're called Quiet Cat. If the best way for me to describe them is a cross between a Mercedes and a Hummer. These things are tanks. They're definitely at a different price point, and they're also priced as Hummers and Mercedes. By the way, I'd like to add. Not only, but they actually have they're so well built that actually Jeep put their name on one.
Wow.
So yeah, we got a little bit involved in that as well. Like I said, in my opinion, it's just an accessory to a hunter now, because those are mainly geared for the hunters, because they really are very quiet, and they're beasts, like they really are. So so we kind of diversify a little bit, Mo. I mean, you've seen it. Axes is another thing. Also, we actually have a section that we were gonna do axe throwing in. But with the price of lumber today, no. There's a joke. There's a running joke in the construction community that says if you want to buy a club sandwich, it's $8.99, and if you want it with a toothpick, it's $19.99. I mean, the price of wood is just gone like nuts. Yeah. So thanks, but it'll wait. Because that stuff gets beaten up quite easily and regularly. So I mean, you got to change those 2x6s at least once every 2 days. So thanks, but no,
shouldn't be long. Wood'll be cheaper soon.
Wow.
I've seen the futures going down on them.
No, there you go.
I'm holding out. Construction, waiting.
Everybody's waiting.
Ammo, waiting. We've
seen like 3 increases in the last 5 months, and the lowest one being 18%. And I love it when people come in and say, "Can I get a deal if I buy 5,000?" I say, "Dude, I have to pay extra if I order 5,000." So take it now, because as soon as that next batch comes in, price is going to change. The market price is just nuts. People are paying up to $850 1,000 in the US for 9 mil.
Wow.
It was nuts. It was just nuts.
And that's American too.
Yeah. They were paying up to, if my memory serves me right, I think the last time my buddy sent me a picture was $82 US for 1,000 primers.
So you're a retailer. So are you getting inquiries from our friends down in the US to say, "Hey, would you send me some?" Which is a hell no. But anyways.
yes, we get it regularly, and I tell them, "Look, I'm not going to do any exports. I don't do any exports. If you want, send your cousin, your brother to buy it. And, if you want to ship it, we got the name of a couple of exporters that can help you, but this is not what I do here." Yeah. And not only that, I also have to keep my reputation with my suppliers. If I start buying their stuff just to re-export it,
Yeah.
So, and a lot of them have agreements with the US that they can't. In fact, there's a few distributors now that will make you sign documents saying that you won't export the goods.
Yeah.
So.
And not only that, you want to be able to supply your Canadian.
Absolutely.
Shooters.
If it was meant for us Canadians, it's going to stay here for us Canadians.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be lying to you if I told you that, I didn't sell them anything. For example, we have certain firearms, like I said earlier, we're an exotic. I'd be an exotic car dealership. That there may only be 3 in North America, and I have all 3. So you want them? Yeah, sure. Again, those are big ticket items.
Yeah.
So
that's different, though.
Yeah. That's not for everybody, right?
No. So how are you guys all involved in the firearm community, if I may ask a question?
Who wants to go first?
I could go first, I guess.
Okay.
I do the Hunting Gear Guy website and YouTube channel, Slamfire. I shoot an RO3 gun in Edmonton. I shoot boss for
Say hi to Len
Maple
for me.
What's that?
Say hi to Len for me. Doesn't he own the range in Edmonton? Len. Oh crap!
You're talking Phoenix. You're talking
Phoenix
there.
Yes.
Yeah. Can do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I shoot boss for Project Maple Seed, so
Cool.
we go all over the place doing that.
Cool.
So
Very cool.
a couple things, yeah.
Cool.
Mo?
More I know all about. So
He does. He heard my story. Yeah.
Hef, you want to go next?
Sure. So I shoot 3-gun, a little bit of IPSC, side business doing shotguns, limited tactical, do podcasts. I have my own podcast that I've been very lax on lately, but
You have, yeah.
but yeah, basically competition in this.
So I am one of the OG or one of the original directors for Project Maple Seed. And I'm also VP of Women's Programs for the CCFR. And what else do I do? Oh, I just got my black badge.
Yes, congratulations.
So I shoot pistol, rifle, and I also really, really love shooting skeet as well. So I do a little bit of everything. So
cool. Where are you a member at? What range are you a member at in Kingston?
So I'm a member at FRPC, which is the Frontenac Rifle and Pistol Club, across the street at the Skeet Club, or the Trop and Skeet Club. And then I also actually am a member out at Napanee too, in case something's going on.
Frontenac is one of my favorite ranges. I love the guys, Mark and the Air Force captain. I forget his name.
Mark. So yeah, Mark is over at the Skeet and Trop Club.
Oh yeah, he's there now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, on from me and on behalf of all of all the shooters in Quebec and firearm owners, I want to thank you guys, because you guys are doing a great job and putting it out there, and I want to thank you for everything that you've done for the community and continue to do, because it's very important. It really is.
Well, thank you. And thank you for everything that you're doing in Quebec.
My pleasure. And if you're ever in the area, just let me or Mo know, and my door is open to anyone. And I remember when Mo approached me to this, and I said, look, would you mind if I said a few words in French? Because, maybe we should have the show live one time at the range in Montreal, and have a few shooters come in and comment in French and so on and so forth, and maybe grow your base a little bit in Quebec.
Do a full French show. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a French gun podcast.
It could be in franglais.
Yeah.
Fringlish.
Yeah, Jasmine,
that works for me. Fringlish or franglais work for me.
Yeah, Jasmine Settermond was the guy that did him and his brother were doing Calibre, was it Calibre Quebec? Wasn't it? The podcast?
I don't know.
But Jazz is a member at your club. So,
okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of individuals. I mean, I remember at one point CCFR came by, and there was this young man there, and I had seen him a few times, and he says, yeah, I'm the rep in Quebec. And I said, well, why didn't you ever tell me? You know what I mean? You come to my shop, tell me, I just didn't want to, all right, but like I said, it was just the thought. So just, sometimes the just to put a little bit of a different spin. And like I said a few words before in French to my board, because I think they're great guys and doing a great job, as well as my staff, obviously. Food for thought for all of you. I mean,
it'd be great to actually do.
I will always make my place available to anyone to shed a positive light on our industry. 100%.
Awesome.
I will never say no to that. Ever.
Maybe something in French, and maybe something in Italian too.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know, and won't be able to do the Italian. French.
Mo and I will figure it out.
Yeah, we got it. We got it.
Yeah, you got it covered. Awesome.
And you really don't have to understand. All you really got to understand is this. You know, whatever, you know, if you can understand the language, you're already good.
I thought it was like this. That's how you talk.
It all depends what you're talking about. That's what we would tell it. That this would be to the anti-gunners. You know?
They deserve it too, Frank.
Yeah, I'd just be sitting there nodding my head, shaking my head. Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well,
Where can people find out more about your shop and more about what you do, Frank?
Well, we're very active on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I would say probably more on Instagram than Facebook, but Facebook as well. CGN, obviously, a little bit on Canadian Gun Nuts as well. Our website is updated regularly. During the COVID, you know, we've lost quite a bit of staff. Not because, you know, we wanted to let them go. It's just, you know, hours were reduced, and you know, so and I, you know, I have to keep my core staff happy. We were very seriously, before COVID hit, we had already started working on a YouTube channel, but unfortunately we've had a few shuffles around, and like I like to tell everybody, you know, when I leave my home in the morning, I have a page, a sheet with a list of stuff that I need to do. That's basically my priority. And by the time I leave at the end of the day, that page is now on page 3. So, and I assure you that the YouTube channel is always on there. You know, but unfortunately, there's some type of fire every day, some type of situation every day. You know, just the other day, we had an individual who refused to show us his firearms license when he bought ammunition. I said, look, dude, yeah, I can't sell it to you if you don't show it to me. Yeah. And I'm not only, I said, and not only that, it's going to get even worse. I'm making an invoice to your name. That's illegal. Yeah. That's illegal. I'm making an invoice to your name. If you want to buy this ammo here, you're going to have to show me your FAC along with another piece of ID so I can make this. And if you don't want to give me your address, I'm just going to put your name on it. And I got all this on video, so it's not an issue. I can just go and save it. Yeah. So, you know, this is the accelerated version. So you need to know that, you know, I mean, and every individual that comes in has a friend who knows better than we do. You know, everybody has a friend. My friend said, "Yeah, what does your friend do for a living?" You know, so and you have to deal with that. You know, and sometimes, yeah, they get dealt with in a few minutes, and the individual is comprehensive and understanding, and it gets resolved. But I can tell you that the large majority of the time, they're not very comprehensive, and it doesn't get resolved the way it should be getting resolved. You know, so it's unfortunate, but there are individuals that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And we're not going to risk our business for a box of ammunition.
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking the time to come on tonight. It was a great chat.
Thank you for having me.
And you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
When I can cross the border, I'll come see ya. Well, I can cross the border.
My understanding is the border. So
it's all open now.
Whenever you want to head our way, like I said, on this panel right now, there's Mo and I. Either one of us will be more than happy to welcome you. Honestly,
absolutely.
Great.
And same goes for the two of you. You're a little further than Kelly is. So, but if you're ever in this neck of the woods, and please look us up, man. It'd be great to have you over.
Sounds
awesome.
Good.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys. Again, keep up the good work, and thanks.
Thanks again to Frank Nardi for joining us on the show this evening. Let's get to listener feedback, sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, and Cerakote finishes, as well as wood and refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns. firearms accessories, optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca. Also follow him on Facebook and Instagram. Let's get to the emails. Kelly, do you want to do the one from Josh?
Okay. So it says, hello all. Further to the email last week that I updated you guys on the Grey Birch Solutions 1022, I wanted to clarify something I mentioned about the trigger. Mostly this update is because of Hef asking for clarification. I love that that he's calling you Hef.
It's stuck. It's stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we're not going to tell anybody who actually named you Hef on the show. Anyways, okay. Last week I mentioned in the earlier days, Grey Birch Solutions had issues with their trigger to no fault of their own. Technically, it was a Timony, not a Grey Birch trigger. They weren't at fault at all, but at the time, it didn't matter to me as the consumer. In my mind, it was still Grey Birch's problem by default as they sold it to me. So I called them and they fixed the issue. They are great, by the way. If you do give them a call, they are great with customer service. There were many symptoms, which included things such as failure to feed, failure to fire, and also stovepiping. Though I am far from an expert, my understanding that it was materials issues that caused the problems. Within the trigger group, the hammer bushings were made of aluminum. Aluminum is soft, and these parts were warping and cracking. Since then, it's also my understanding that these parts are no longer made of aluminum and or the issues have been rectified somehow. I suspect this may be part of the reason Grey Birch Solutions has decided to design their own trigger to be in full control of quality. And why not? They design everything else in-house, so it seems so why not the trigger also? Far too many moving parts for me to wrap my head around, but I know that I will be the first in line when it's released. Him and a couple of other people, I'm assuming as well, because they actually they'll be testing them out for them. There you go. The update has been updated. And I should also mention that Mo and Hef, you're doing great. Have a good one.
What was that last part again? Can you read that again?
You said, Mo and Hef, you're doing great.
I'm kidding. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
We have no new Patreons. If you'd like to email the show, send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. Patreon supporters should have received their patches in the mail. If you've not received yours in a
or
month,
in person, or hand delivered.
That's or hand delivered. Yes. Send us an email, and you can go to Patreon or find us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/slamfireradio. We'll get into the shout outs. Adriel, do you have any?
Yeah, one to Mark for splitting bullets with me and grabbing me some 10mm spicy rounds for this very spicy gun.
Kelly?
Yes, I do have them. I typed it in. I'm not typing the whole thing in. I just said, yes, I have shoutouts. So my shoutouts go to Ari, who put on the Black Badge course for us. I'm so thankful that he did. And the reason is because it's been over a year since we've been trying to do this, and Kyle for arranging it, and for Kelly for helping out. And by the way, Trevor's not on tonight, but she did want me to mention how fantastic the stage was that she put together at the end of the actual course. And yes, I have shot some of the stages that Trevor has designed, and I just want to say that Kelly designed a much better one than Trevor. Just saying. Yeah, if he's listening, I will get a message. Just letting you know. So yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to them, but I also wanted to give a shout out to Ryan at SFRC, just to let everybody know that's where I got my smoker from, and he gave me a smoking hot deal. Get it? Smoking hot, smoking. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to making some meat. And I think meat. That's it. I think that's everything. Yeah, I think. And everybody else that I shot with, I really want to say that I have a really good group of friends, and our community is fantastic. It's wonderful. it was a good time this weekend, especially because we got to shoot together as friends. But not only that, now we're going to go and do our qualifying match, and everybody is volunteering to work the match as well. So I didn't talk about that in what we did in guns. I am registered for an upcoming match that's going to be happening in August, and I volunteered to help set up, and then also for the rest of the weekend as well. So yay!
Just jump straight into ROing. Nah, I did my black badge. I can RO now.
Yeah. Anyways.
Kyle, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Jay Vold, the match director for the charity match this past weekend, as well as all the ROs and volunteers who's helped set it up and put it on. And I guess a special thanks to Adriel for being the RO extraordinaire for our squad. And
not DQing anyone.
Yeah.
I had my eyes on you guys.
And setting and setting up the wardrobe expectations as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
No expectations. Do whatever you want.
I'm here with skins and shirts.
Yeah, tarps off, boys.
Skid squad.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm on the shirt squad. I'm not on the skins.
Yeah, I would be on the shirt squad too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay.
So for you, I don't have any shout-outs tonight. Check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. Like us on Facebook. We're at 2,804, updated today. Give us a review on Facebook. We'd appreciate that. Join the CCFR, which is extremely important. And see you next week. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
And good night, Trevor.
Oh, and good night, Trevor.